Alright. It's been a second, hasn't it? Well, I'm back. And ready to make some new edits. Oh, how have you been doing? Okay, so today I'm starting an edit that's going to go into the same, basically same series as the last few ones I've made, which is basically aerial pictures, usually of nature, combined with a disembodied hand coming from the sky and doing weird, crazy things. That's the idea. So, I don't have the other ones as layers. I'll pull them up for reference in case somebody asks. Hang on a sec. Where do I prepare this? I hope the quality is alright, because apparently my bitrate was pretty poor when I checked before finishing the countdown. So I hope it's alright. Let me know if it's messed up at all. Okay, so previous ones would be this, oh, it's a different size. This one, there we go. Missing, yeah, an older one that should be there. Okay. Oh, also different size. And they should be the same ratio though, so. Or more or less the same ratio. So this. Oh, this one isn't. It's okay though. So. These are the ones that went before it in the same series, so that's more or less the feel I'm going to go for. Alright. So let's get going. Well, this is more or less the roadmap. I basically pasted some pictures here together to have something to start from. But we're gonna, I think first what I'm going to do is, well, maybe select one of these two pictures first. Because they're pretty similar. They have slightly different lighting. The hand position is also different, so I'm not really sure about. The angle is slightly different, but I think both are okay for the purposes we're using it for. So I should choose one of these. I'm still not very sure. So maybe I'll do that once people start to stream in and maybe somebody can give me their thoughts. So maybe we can start with the road here. What is this layer? That's an empty layer. I'm already making empty layers and I haven't even started. This is a sketch. This is another reference thing. Okay, so this is a base picture. I think like this, it's pretty okay. Like in the crop like this, it's slightly larger, so I could go like a bit more to the right, a bit more to the left. I don't mind either way. Enderman, how are you doing? We going with pizzas again? So here, now that you're here, maybe you have some opinions on this. So this is the basic idea of what we're doing today, and this is just some pictures I took with a razor I had at home. My camera is not that good, so they're a bit grainy and stuff, but they'll do the job, I think. So I got this too, which have slightly different lighting. Well, this one is a bit sharpened too, which I should do on this one too, but without taking that into account. Which one do you prefer? Taking into account that the angle and lighting are slightly different, so this one is a bit more lit, has a bit more reflections, and the hand is placed differently. Do you have any preference? Let's call this one on top, let's call it A, and this one that's lit, let's call it B for reference. A and B. By the way, I slightly increased the font of Photoshop. Hopefully that way it's more readable on stream. I don't know if I changed it from small to medium, so I don't know if that change is very apparent. A for apotheosis. Okay, let me sharpen this one though, because I've sharpened the other one, and now this one seems a bit blurry. Yeah, my camera is pretty old, and I think it's more a problem with the camera and the sensor, but it's the autofocus is terrible. It doesn't focus very well, so I had to manually focus it, and I'm terrible at it, so that's why it might be a bit blurry. Oh well. So let's sharpen. Just smart sharpen. Why not? Because we're smart. Okay, where are we? No. This one. Okay. Let's see with this settings. Not really seeing much. Oh, we need to remove lens blur. Not as much, because it'll look grainy as hell if I do. So how are you doing, Ender? Sorry I've been gone for a little while. There's so much stuff going on. I have family stuff, then I got sick for a couple weeks, and my creativity was on the floor. Hey, thanks for the follow, still in motion. So, I mean, yeah, if we sharpen it too much, like, we'll just get a ton of this grain. I'm not sure how hard to go with it. That's kind of a problem with this, because it's a pretty grainy camera, the one I have. It's fairly old, I don't know how many years it has. More than 10 though. It was a decent one back then, but I mean, it does have many years on its back now. Pretty beat up. I don't usually take my own pictures, so I don't know if that would justify the expense of paying a very expensive thing. Like, a good camera is very expensive, so I don't know if it's justified. I will someday, once I have enough disposable income. Yeah, that's cool. We're getting some commissions. And how did they get to you? Like, do they contact you through social media, or is it a friend of a friend thing, like personal contacts? How do you get your commissions? Okay, we sharpened this one a little bit. Hey, thanks for the follow, Reveal Color. So yeah, this is the basic idea. I think we're gonna keep with the picture in A. It's true that I kind of like it, that it's a bit A bit more shiny on here. It looks a bit more interesting. Hey, thanks. So I think we'll go with A for now. This one is A, the one with the tiny stuff on it. I like them both, but whatever. First thing first, though, we have a road here that I don't want. So first thing is gonna be clone stamping this out. Fairly simple thing. "20 people in the group." Whoa. That's a lot of people, a lot of characters. Wow, that's cool. That must be hellish to DM, but still pretty cool. I had to reset my whole Photoshop settings, so have to put everything to my liking again. Okay, so I think we're gonna start with some good old-fashioned clone stamping. Why not? It'll do the trick. It's just a thin strip here. And we have more than enough to take from. Wow, that is crazy. Pretty cool, but crazy. Yeah, I've been struggling to get my table to like together, just because everyone has a different like it was easier at first because we were all in the same city. We all had pretty similar studying. We were all in first years of university. We had similar timetables, you know. But as years went on, it gets harder and harder to get together and play. So yeah, it's been a long time since we last played. I'm trying to trick my girlfriend into playing 1-on-1 game. Just one DM and one player, and I don't know. I'm convincing her, I think. Here's hoping, because that might be pretty fun, and that's also a good platform to like maybe try out some weird things. It's just one-on-one. You can be a bit more experimental, I feel like. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. And also you're a pretty large group, so I guess it's easier to find like just a few people every week that can play. Okay, that seems pretty good. Pretty patched up. Still feeling like the edges are not the best, but okay, gonna try to get rid of any repeating patterns if there are. That's usually the one giveaway of clone stamping, is that you can see like the same two trees over and over. That really bugs me. And yeah, what should we do with this patch here? I'm torn. Could get rid of it and just have a continuous tree cover over a whole picture. I think also having like little spots like that, I don't know, might give it some variety. I'll leave it for now, I think. Okay, so I think next up we're just gonna cut this, get the edges nice and clean, and then we'll color correct it. Oh, I do have a to-do list. I usually do this in advance, just in case I get lost. Just the general things I need to do. So yeah, fill road area, which we've done. Shave edges off, shave the trees off, and yeah, color correct, shadows, etc. So let's start the cutting. I'm gonna use a fairly hard brush for these edges here. Maybe a little bit softer. And I just do it manually with my pen. Everyone has a different way of cutting in Photoshop, I feel like. Some people do pen tool. Some people, I don't know, people have crazy ways of doing it. My way is just get a brush and do it manually. I feel like it's the most cost effective. It can apply to a lot of different situations, like things with softer edges, things with very hard edges. I don't know, it's versatile, I guess. And also pretty fun. I always find it kind of relaxing to cut stuff in Photoshop. Needs more pizza, always. Okay, so the hand here, like been a more of a close-up shot. Hand is a bit blurrier, especially over here. So just gonna cut it with a softer edge. And I shot it against the best green background I could find, which was not exactly the same green as the background, but I think close enough that I can forgive some small errors in the. Let's move it a little bit. There we go. Yeah, so just so it forgives some errors. Also, I don't know what to do with the shadow. I might cut it in a different layer and apply it as a different. I don't know. I think we might cut it for now. I'm not sure. So we can entirely get rid of it and make a new one after we're done. I think I already shot it with a very similar lighting to the ones we're gonna find. Hey Impoverish! Long time no see, how are you doing? Here's what we are doing. Well, that's the idea. It's getting a... I need to move this a little bit, there we go. A huge razor that's cutting the trees in a huge line. That's the basic idea of it, at least. It's going to go in the same sort of series as these few ones, which are all aerial shots with huge objects that just change nature in some way. So yeah, that's the idea. So now we're cutting the razor, which I shot myself. So in order to have at least similar lighting to the base picture we're gonna be using. I think I'm gonna cut the shadow in a different... That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna copy this layer, gonna hide it, and we'll use it just for the shadow later. So this one won't have any shadows on it. Maybe I'll let through some contact shadows, because those will appear anyway. Like I'm not bothering too much with this edge here. Like I'll make it more or less. Okay, that much, because that part in the final picture will be also pretty indistinguishable, that edge here. Also, I was wondering if I should use this one or this one, which have a slightly different lighting. One is a bit sharper than the other, but I think I'm gonna go for this one. Hopefully I don't change my mind. Lower one? You mean this one? Makes more sense. I thought like maybe the angle made a bit more sense. But at this, like, when it's something that in the part that touches the ground, which is the part that's going to be that has to be more in perspective with the background, it's not that big. It doesn't take that much space. But I think the brain can more or less. Why did you redeem mod for a day if you're already a mod forever? And weird flex? Okay, just to flex. Flexing on you peasants. I don't have any points. Being more of a sharp angle will make sense when you're done. What do you mean by that? Not sure I understand. I think both are very similar from the angle standpoint. Like one of them is slightly lower than the other. I think both work equally in that regard. What I liked about this one is it's a bit more of a reflection there. I don't know, makes the lighting a bit more interesting, I think. And the hand is also in a different position, so I like a bit more. Minor things. Maybe I can like even mix the two heads to get a slightly more favorable angle, if that makes sense. For now, let's cut this one, the one called A, and let's see how it fits. I know that this lower edge here doesn't make much sense, but it's gonna be in shadow anyway, so not bothering that much with it. Also, maybe I'll, like, if I have to, I'll get a bit more finger over here. It doesn't really matter. It's like fairly blurry anyway, so. Also, is it noticeable that I changed the font size? Like, is it a bit more readable? I don't know if it's noticeable. Maybe I need to change it to large, because it wasn't small and I changed it to medium. I was messing with the settings anyway, so. So I'll color correct that green on the edge later, so I don't mind that it bleeds through a little bit. I'll make it look a bit more like this green. I just don't want to cut it too close here and make a weirdly sharp edge where it should be blurry. Okay, let's cut this one a bit closer. So maybe I sharpened it a little bit too much, because that noise it's looking weird to me. Okay, let's see now with this one. But I feel like maybe it should be a bit more like this. Somewhere in between there, I think. I fear of the things will be corrected. Well, like will be a bit more hidden. Like this whole area, for instance, will be much darker with the shadows later. Over here, I'll cover it with some of the trees that will make up the sides of this cut. So some of the angle differences will probably not be as noticeable. Hopefully. Okay, I think I'm also gonna make it a little bit bigger, because I think we should use our space well. I don't want it to fill up everything, but in the end it's the main focus of the image, so. Okay. Should I first try to color correct that green, or should I jump to the ditch here? Let me do the green first, just because it's bothering me a little. Let me go with the camera raw filter. You can just get those greens. Maybe a bit more yellow. Let's see if that's better. That's already better. Oh, I think it's time to render. I think it's a bit of a big image. That's a bit better. We'll probably do more later on that front. Okay, so with that taken care of, more or less. Let's do the. Okay, let's shave those trees. So I've more or less selected the area I want the track to follow. I was trying, I tried for a while So to make it look as like to make the perspective make as much sense as possible. But let me know if the perspective looks off to you, because I kind of struggled with that a little bit. So let me know if the perspective is iffy on that track here, especially. I'm wondering what to fill the ground with, because we could do dirt down here. We could also maybe try to find some pictures of you know, deforestation or something like that, and use that like the, you know, the kind of ground with cut down trees and dead soil and stuff. That's kind of grim, and fill that space up with that, because in the end it's like shaved trees in the end. Yeah, I think those are the... Or we also do fields like this, which wouldn't be a sort of that much of an environmental message. Maybe would be more of a... I mean, it would look a bit prettier though, I think. Not entirely sure. I think with if we do fields, I can take maybe textures from the same base image. Like, well, we got a little strip of that. I could use that and clone it. Like, that's a possibility. Could also just find other pictures of fields from up in the air and just modify that. Might be more. It might be better, more sensible. Okay, let me try to... One sec. There we go. Okay. So let's try to find some stock images. How we can just... Oh, my hand's so cold. Something like this. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So the perspective fits pretty well, I think. So let's try it. Let's try this one on. I think it'll fit pretty well. Okay, let's put it up here. There we go. I think just to try it on, let's just put it as a clipping layer on top of this. So I'm more partial to using more like this, because it looks more shaven or something, right? It's a bit more dead, but it's, I don't know, I think it fits a bit better. Maybe some of these fields. You can also use these trees here to... Oh well, the shadows don't really fit, now that I think about it. I was thinking of using them as an edge to that layer. I mean, I think the best thing we can do with this is just patching up a few different types of fields, and I think that'll look good enough. I think the coolest one is this one. Maybe these ones too. And this. That's a pretty good one, actually. Let's see if I can fit it on here. It's a bit bigger, but yeah, I think we can fit it with some trickery. I think we can also give it a little bit of a curve to the path that the razor is making. Let's warp it a little too. There we go. I think if I copy this, I'll just do a quick selection. There we go. How's this kind of texture for our path here? I mean, I know the perspective doesn't fit like very neatly, but just to try it out, let me try and merge that. That is that. There we go. Let's see if we can get the perspective to behave a little bit better in this case. Croppy rather than tree. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the other option I was thinking of was using just a run-down forest or burned forest, you know, with dead trees all over and stuff. That might be a bit too grim. I don't know. But let's try it out, just to see if we can find anything. Okay, let's try it out. Let's see if we can find anything from the air. Nope. I think that might be better found on Google Images, just applying some filters to get copyright-free pictures. Maybe NASA has some. Okay. This is a bit too far away. I don't satellite pictures either. Just that's pretty cool. That's more like sand though. Well, it does apply pretty nicely though, I think. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for, deforestation aerial, because I want pictures, like drone pictures or plane pictures. Here's, yeah, kind of exactly what the kind of image that we're gonna want to give here. The picture is not very good. But oh, that's very grim. Yeah, how about something like this? Some, like, grayish, dead texture, like that. Yay, dead trees. Why do all of my edits end up being environmental? This? Here we got some literal dead trees on the ground. Exactly. So I think this one is pretty cool. I think maybe you can pick some textures from here. Let's see. Oh, let's see first if it's copyright free, because that's those sort of things. If you go on Google, you should always check. Yeah, we're good. Okay, here it is. Let's see if we can play with this. Thinking using mainly this part and this one to make up our texture. So let's do the same thing we did before. Just take that as a base and just sort of fill it up. I mean, in the end it's a texture for like the ground that we're gonna see there. So I don't really mind stretching those trees out. As long as the ground looks acceptable, we're good, I think. There we go. That's a grimmer one, isn't it? We can take this one, this part, maybe switch it around like this. Yeah, that should be good. Hey, thanks, Oddball Show. It's sort of going environmental for a theme, but it's funny because whatever I do, even if it's not, if I don't make it explicitly environmental, people will take that message anyway. I guess because I'm known to do that kind of stuff. But like, say for this one that I did a while ago, it's going into the same series. It's big tools creating and destroying environment, like nature. This one, I mean, it was just supposed to be a fun thing, like making a piece of cake out of a cliff, and pretty much everybody commented and said, "Oh, this is what we're doing to our planet," and stuff like that. So yeah, people just took it as if it was environmental. I mean, and I like the message anyway, so I won't correct them. Thank you. You know, death of the artist. In the end, the real meaning of what you do is whatever people think it is. So now we're just filling up the path that our razor is making with some dead raised ground texture. Yeah, that's what I thought of at first. But then people said, "Oh, this is so true today." Okay. I mean, like, some of the stuff I do is like very explicitly environmental, like this one. Like, there's no doubt here, but oh, I gotta fill up this little corner here. Thank you. Some of them I take, some of them I get from the internet. Like, for instance, in this case, I took the razor myself. It's just one I had lying around, and the background picture is from the internet because I don't have enough resources to take a drone to such a cool place and take pictures of it. Yeah, the internet is full of really cool resources, so in the end you always end up finding what you're looking for. Yeah, exactly. A lot of the ideas I have really depend on kind of pictures I cannot take. So I also don't have a great camera. Hey, thanks for the follow. Yeah, I don't have an amazing camera, and I'm not a great photographer, so I just take what I can, and the rest is from the internet. So we got a pretty decent base texture here. I was okay. Let's by the way just merge all of this so it's not as heavy an image. The other option I was considering was using more like crops, like this sort of feels like this. But I don't know, like a dead ground might be more apt. I also had a picture. Let me see if I found it again. Okay, here we got a picture from, it's also copyright free. That has some dead trees that we might be able to use. I don't know. I'll have it here open on the background. Just in case we need to use it. Oh, also this one is pretty good. This one might be better than the one what we have. It also has some lines like this. Let's try this one on, just to see. Okay, let me find if it does have copyright. I don't think it does, but no, it's good. Let me pull it up. There we go. A highway with cars. Oh, that's a very good one too. I like that too. Let's try this one, because I kind of like that. It's literally a picture I found looking for deforestation, which is more or less what I'm going for here. And it's pretty sad. Like it's raised terrain that still has a little bit of green surviving on it. I think it might look cool. So let's do the same thing we did before. Just get this all white and try to fit it. Fit the angle and this lines, try to align them with the path. Oh, what did I just say? This is pretty good. I'm liking this. I think this is better than what we were just using before. Like if we're going for that look, dead terrain, like deforestation look, this is pretty good. Also the angle fits, like the perspective fits a bit better. We don't need to do as much stretching, I think. It's maybe a little bit of rotating and stretching. I think that fits pretty well. I'm liking this. Maybe we could desaturate it a little, make it feel more barren and dead. Yeah, let's go with this for now. I do like the road idea, the highway idea. Like it wouldn't be as, it would be more of a more surreal than the other ones in the series. Like these ones are pretty literal. They're pretty, like it is what it is. They wouldn't be like they aren't creating anything that the tool itself can't create. You know? So that's why that's the downside of that idea, even though it's really good. Like from an internal perspective, like just taking this image into account, it's probably a better idea. But if we take the whole series into account, it's probably a better idea to do this. I don't know, I gotta think about it. let's go with this for now. Let's try to make the edges of the trees here. I think let's start with these edges. So first thing first, just gonna take this and apply it as a layer mask instead. Okay. Now let's just try to edit it and let's reduce opacity a little. Oh, let me move that. Reduce opacity so we can see the trees behind and we can cut around those. So we get a more natural edge. I mean, we'll still add shadows and stuff, but this will go a long way. And I also kind of want the trees to look like they've been cut in half. Like if the razor went over the middle of a tree, just cuts it straight in half. Like this. Like I'm not gonna make the whole tree just so I think it's more fun, maybe. Sort of like this. Some might say that this is the tedious part, but to me it's some of the most fun. Like it's like brainless fun. And it's fun. Then the harder part will be the other side here. Maybe we'll try to bring in another new image of just some trees, like I don't know, something that would fit here, so we can get like the bases of the trees and stuff. Because if we don't have that, we have to make that up. That might look a bit weird. Like, I think I'm decent at this, but I'm not good at drawing. Drawing is not my thing. Actually, like when I was like, I don't know, 12, 13, I started doing Photoshop for fun. I did that for quite a long time. I was doing just whatever came to my mind. Weird ideas, not as well executed, but still same vibe. But then, for many years, I started thinking that I was never gonna be a real artist if I didn't draw. So I spent many years fruitlessly fruitlessly trying to improve my drawing skills until I was like, what the hell am I wasting my time on this? I'm not even having fun. And I had way more fun when I just did mess around in Photoshop. So I started taking this as an actual art form. Even though from time to time people will discredit it, like casually discredit it as, oh, it's just like, it's not like, it's nice, but it's not like art. It's kind of feel you get from some people. Yeah, but most folks are really sportive. Okay, let's fill that up. Full opacity. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Alright. Let's see what we do with this edge here. I think first things first, we're gonna soften it a little. So we're just gonna take a soft brush like this. This, and try to... Oh, the other way around. There we go. It's already a good start. Also, yeah, it should probably go like way over there, over on the horizon. Even though like it's gonna be all hazy and we're not gonna see anything. It's gonna make it show up anyway. Okay, let's see if we can get any good tree line from this picture that we can put on here. Let's see. Maybe like from this area here, because it's like taller trees and we can see more the base of them. Let's see if we can do that. Okay, need more opacity. We can use that. Let's see how that looks. If we take a strip like this, tie it on top, and just move around until we get some more complete trees. I mean, it's better if we just take from the same image, because colors will be the same, perspective will be similar. It's gonna be way easier overall. Way less of a headache. Yeah, I believe we can make do with some of these. I feel like start with this, and if we need like more like the bottoms of the trees, we can use some clone stamping and try to get that done. So let's go with this for now. Can get like trees from here and let's work on this area for now. Also, I guess that if we're applying the same logic as on this tree line here, we get a lot of trees cut in half or something like that. Could we find something like that? I don't think so. I think that might be like extremely hard. Mineko. Let me show you my doggy. There he goes. He's the cutest. He wants hugs. There's the other one too. Okay. Put up. So cute. Okay, put up. Venga. It's getting clingy. Anyway, let's keep going. I don't think we'll get many trees cut in half for this. We'll have to make do. I mean, okay, let's try something. Let us try something. I'll just take from the base layer just this, and do a similar thing to what I did on the other side. Try to cut it like that, and then you can just find some sort of texture, something we can use to, or make it ourselves, to make a sort of cut trees impression. Let's see if we can work that out. I don't know if I expressed myself very well there. Hopefully, if I do this correctly, you'll see that what I meant. But this is like the most fun parts of doing this in Photoshop. It's finding problems and challenges and trying to think ways of solving them. And usually end up finding something, and that's really well where the skill shines through. So when you see a professional, like, they usually have thought this through like way before taking the pictures, so they're like on another level, and maybe a more shoddy editor will just patch it up with some fog or something and call it a day, and it will look kind of wonky. Yeah, that's usually where you see the most difference. And you solve the little problems like this. That's not like what you think of when you're thinking of this base idea. If just having a razor cut through a forest, you don't immediately think like, oh, how am I gonna make that edge of the forest? You think more about the big picture, like how will I put the razor? More of the big things, and then those smaller things kind of come up as you're making it. At least in my experience. Okay, so we've done we sort of cut the trees in that way, but now we're missing the inner edge of them. That's what I'm gonna try to do. So, similar to what I was doing, just gonna apply this layer right behind this and have it have a sort of hard edge towards the bottom. So something like this, maybe. And now, through different adjustments, try to make it. Well, I was thinking putting some shadow onto it like this. Now think about it though. If our light is coming through this side, they would be quite lit up, quite bright actually. So it should do the other way around. Let's see if we can make it look alright. Okay, maybe we can also stretch it a little bit. See if we can work this one out. So what I kind of want in the end is to have an edge here, if that makes sense. Okay, let's actually rasterize this and apply it so it's just a normal layer, and maybe fill it up with whatever textures I can find from. Let's maybe do that in a separate layer. Okay. Yeah, whatever textures I can find from like buttons of the trees, like this, anything like that. I'll try to use that. Yeah, that's pretty alright, I think. I mean, it's not as good as if we had found a perfect... Oh, we have some good ones here. A perfect match for the cut down forest on the exact angle and stuff, but I think it's good enough. Let's try to get as many textures from this spot as we can. Even though the size of the trees is not exactly the same, we don't really care because we're just taking little bits of them. I think we can work it out. Let's see, towards the back, I don't, like, I'm not gonna take as much care. But here in the front, I want it to look as nice as possible. Okay, so got this added to the earlier textures. You can also give it some light. So we can see that it's the front, like the front row of the trees. Let's see, something like this. I don't know, how's that? I feel like it does the job. And at this sort of size, making it look that much better would maybe be more of a waste of time than it's worth it. Because at this size, it's just stuff. It's just like texture. It's not individual trees anymore. Okay, so we got this. We got the tree cover on that side. Now we are going to try to apply a haze on this part, because as you can see, I gotta more or less match it, so it's not that apparent. I might even do that, so just as a way to keep that texture. I apply the haze with some grain from the mountains and stuff. We do this with a Halem brush. Oh, soft one though. That's not looking good. That doesn't really work on this part. Yeah, I think back here it doesn't really matter anymore. It's too far away for us to really notice. Yeah, definitely. Let me name some of these layers, because you're gonna get confused. Tree line 1. And 2. There we go. I'll call this unused. Put that there. There we go. What else should we add? Maybe some shadows. Okay, which way should the shadows go? Well, So our shadows are going that way. So we should have a shadow same shape as the tree line here, going a bit to the right. Let's see. We can take this selection, invert it, move it a little. Like this. Then just paint with that. You can just play around with it. It's not gonna be as hard, obviously. Just using this as a base. Should be thinner on this side and thicker on this side. Make that shadow thick. There we go. Okay, so first we're gonna reduce opacity, because no shadows are that strong. We need them to be around this. Okay. Maybe put them on overlay so they're not as strong. Let's do normal for now, and then we'll put a normal. It's something that usually works pretty well for shadows. Is have a do the whole shadow, then copy that layer, and put the lower one on normal on a very low opacity, just to give like a dark base, and then the copy on top on overlay. So because if you just put an overlay layer, it won't really look like a shadow. But if you put an overlay with, let's do it as if this was the final shadow for now, with a soft dark layer below it, like it's starting to look way more like a shadow. You just play around with that, and usually you get a fairly good results. So. Also, we can see the base picture to see if how should we go with the shadows. I think it maximum darkness should be around this, maybe around this, just in the base of the trees. So first thing we're gonna do on this shadow, we're going to try to put a little bit of gradient on top. Something like this. So the shadow is harder right below it, below the trees. Then I'm going to give it some Gaussian blur to get that edge nice and soft. I think I'm pretty much good with this, I think. Maybe I'll move it slightly. So got that. Yeah. So I'm gonna put a normal layer with low opacity and then an overlay copy of that on a higher opacity below it. Just mess around with that until it looks as good as possible. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Now, let's mess with the razor, our main thing here. I did have two pictures of it. This and this, which are similar, but slightly different angles. And my thinking is, because I kind of like some features from this picture and some from this one, so I'm thinking I might mix them together. Is that too crazy? Let's try to mix them together. Okay. So, I'm gonna take this B one as a base. This one we're seeing here. We're gonna need to cut around it again, but that's no problem. Yeah, we're using this one as a base because I like the angle of it slightly better. I took many pictures of this razor, but those two were the ones that fit the angle the best. Although one was also a bit sharper than the other. This one is... well, this one has also some movement, but... let's leave the shadow for later. Let's just focus on the razor for now. I don't really mind that this edge looks wonky like before, and I'm okay with that. Although I don't know if I cut too much here. Yeah, I definitely did. I thought that was part of the background, but it wasn't. There we go. So I think I'll pick the shadow from the same picture instead of trying to make my own, because it already matches the lighting, and like if we got one that works, I'll make another, you know. But I'll do that on a separate layer, just to save myself some headaches. Yeah, it's okay. Lurkers are always appreciated. Yeah, it's moving along. We got this edge of the trees done, which I'm not 100% on, like Vincent, but I think we can work with it for now. Did this edge here and the shadow, and now I'm cutting around a slightly different picture of the razor. But I think I'm gonna use more as a base, and then just use some of the better features from the other picture on top of it. And yeah, it's also very relaxing to just cut around some edges. It's mindless, it's fun. It's kind of like those kind of things that are mindlessly enjoyable, like popping package bubbles or something like that to me. Okay, I think we got a pretty decent cut. We just ground these edges and fix anything that doesn't work. And this needs quite a hard edge, because it's literally a straight piece of plastic. Oh, there we go. All right. I think around the hands is pretty okay. Okay, so just to check the two, like the differences between the two. The angle works slightly better, but what we can do now is with this A picture, just gonna rasterize it, put it all into a single layer, and apply that on top of the other one. I'm just gonna take the features that work and apply them on top, if that makes any sense. So this little shines here, it doesn't matter, but here maybe. Just so the lighting works a bit better. What else did this one have? I think it was mostly this little lighting fix. Nothing major. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is apply some of the greens we have on here, which are pretty yellowish greens, on a color layer. On top of these edges, just to get a bit, to especially for the like the more shiny metal parts, so they mix a bit better into their background. Also for the more blurry parts, that still keep some of the original background. It's a little touch, it's not much, but does the trick. Okay, next things. We are going to take the same B layer. We're going to put it behind the actual one. Maybe I just did. There we go. Okay, and we're just gonna take the shadow of it. I'm gonna do a rough cut around it. There we go. So now let's work on making that, applying that on the background. So it's mostly like a pretty soft edge. I'm probably gonna do like the shadow earlier here and just apply it once in a low opacity and then again on like as an overlay layer. Usually gives a pretty good mix. And as it goes higher, the shadow gets more blurred out, and I'm also gonna make it less dark. So that'll just mean I'll just put a gradient on top. I'm also gonna apply the same filter. Oh, it already has a camera raw filter. Okay, then I'm gonna. Well, I'll do that later. I'll put a color layer on top to fix up some of the greens here. I'll do that in the end if it's necessary. Might not even be. Okay, so we got the base thing for the shadow. It's obviously like a super dark blob right now. It's something to start with. So I think we can... Okay, first I think we're gonna apply... that layer mask and then make a new one on top. So we can make this. And just apply this low opacity plus overlay mode. And that looks pretty good. That looks like... That looks very decent, to be honest. I wasn't expecting it to look so decent right off the bat. But there you go. I'm gonna just tune it a little bit more. And then maybe... Okay, I'm gonna recopy it in normal mode, and then with a blend if condition, just apply it on the brightest parts of the underlying layer. Yeah, it's a pretty good one. Usually take a lot of video game music and video game remix music, because that's usually good with Spotify. Like I was gonna say Spotify, with Twitch. The Twitch bot that detects music and applies copyright. Yeah, I do play many. I just went through the last Pokemon. Had a lot of fun. It's been a long time since I've had so much fun with the Pokemon game. kind of games do you play? Got anything to recommend? It's not that it's Christmas. Maybe I can point some people into games that might be good to get me. Okay, I like that shadow. I think it might be like, oh well, no. Like if we compare the darkest values of the picture to this, I think it's pretty okay. Pretty much black on the darkest value. Then the lightest ones, this shadow here, should be more around this. I think I might give some color to this. Maybe to this, or here on top. I can take this as a base. FPS, third person. What's your poison? Anything really. I do play a lot of indie games lately, because in the end the FPS formula is always so similar, so I'm always looking into more interesting experimental things. Not that I don't like FPSs, I do play those also. Okay, I'm gonna give some color, there we go, to that part of the shadow. That looks better. Okay. Also Hellblade. I've had my sister play that one, I think. I think she really liked it. Oh, the second one was announced. That's good. It's like a small studio, right? That does that. Good for them. Okay, I'm gonna group up some of these layers because it's already getting confusing. So this is a shadow, and also so I can do some top level adjustments on none of them. I'm gonna soften it a little bit here. There we go. And then I'm gonna take the shadow plus the razor. Let's call it razor. Oh, that's cool. It's always cool when a small studio succeeds and get to make something more expensive on the like get to make first an experimental idea, and if it works, we do that but in a larger scale. That's always fun. Okay, so I'm gonna put a layer mask on top of the whole razor to have some trees show over it. So just so it's like a bit more embedded on the trees, if that makes sense. Oh, where is that? That's weird. Probably have some unlinked. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's better. Oh, also this soundtrack we were listening to for the game Fury, F-U-R-I, kicks ass. I've never played the game. The soundtrack kicks ass. I discovered the soundtrack and now I want to play the game just because I found the soundtrack so good. It's also... No, I was gonna put some trees over here, but that wouldn't make sense. It's already in shadow, so it doesn't really matter. I could put some trees and then add shadow on top, so just so it matches the razor. No, but I think it's good. Let's embed it just a bit more, so it feels like it's deeper into the trees. There we go. Pretty happy with this so far. Let me know if you find any, like if there's anything that jumps out or bothers you. Because sometimes when you're looking at something for too long, your eyes get poisoned and you stop seeing the errors, the little mistakes you may have made. Also, to get rid of this line here, it's bothering me. Oh, it's here. Okay. Sorry if you can hear my dog barking. Sometimes it starts barking randomly. Just does that. He's a good boy though. By the way, composition-wise, I kind of eyed it. Like sometimes I use guides or think about a specific composition before I start the image. In this case, I kind of just roughly estimated it. So our main action here would be centered. Looks like I did pretty well. It's like, yeah, it's pretty alright. Also, as you might have noticed, in the earlier pictures, the angles and the perspectives are pretty similar between all of them. So we got, well, this one obviously. This one is a bit more centered, like the hand is coming even a little bit from the left, you know. But the line of action of the stitching is going through, like here. Here it's also like coming from the side. This one is coming like from a very similar angle to this one. Yeah. Like it changes a little bit from picture to picture, but I try to keep it as consistent as possible within the limits of the pictures I could get and stuff. That's also important. Gonna add a touch of shadow on here. So, you know, talking about experimental games, one of the best things I've played recently is Baba Is You. I know it's not like exactly a new game. It's such a good one. It's if you haven't seen it, it's sort of puzzle game in which the rules of each level are written on the level and are movable as blocks. So with your little character, you can change the rules of each level. Like if it says wall is block, you can change, and then flag is win. You can just change that and say wall is win, and instead of going to the wall and it stops you, you step on it and you win the level. And it's so intelligently done. I'm not usually a puzzle game guy, but this is like so well put together. It's mind-blowing. Really loved it. I haven't finished it yet, but it gets hard sometimes, so I play it in little increments until I get frustrated. Still very good. Okay, let's shape this a bit closer too. I'm thinking I might take some of the green away from this layer. Let's see. Let's call this trail. Try to mess around with it a little bit more. Like the saturated. Just take some of the those screens away, or make him a bit more yellow. I don't mind this. I'll take care of that right now. Let's see if I can turn it a bit more yellow. Yeah, I think that fits a bit better. Just to add a bit more yellow in there. Maybe add some more in a color layer too. There we go. What else can we do with this bad boy? Let's see. Let's see our to-do list. So I shaved the trees off. That's done. I did a bit of color correction. Didn't need much though. And the shadows I just did. I don't know, maybe it needs a bit more. I think it's pretty alright, because I already took a picture that was very similar to the base one, so I don't think there's too much to do on that side of things. And I obviously gotta add the signature. Let's do that right now, actually. Okay, so if you didn't know, I always add the same symbol to all of my edits, which is this one. So just to check on the earlier series, like you can see it on the how do you call that, vacuum cleaner. You can see it on the knife, like etched on there, or on the handle of the paintbrush. As a little relief on here on the tweezers. I always try to hide it somewhere as cleverly as I can think of. So if you guys got any ideas of where to hide our little symbol, little logo, that would be fantastic. That's always one of the most fun parts of doing this. So let me know if you got any ideas. The most obvious answer, I guess, would be on the razor itself, like as if it was the brand of the razor, because that's sort of what's been going on in this series, you know. It's like the brand of the object being used. It's not always that, but like, for instance, this one I showed before, it's here on the jazz cup, or let's say on this one with the penguins, it's on the handbag. I always try to find a little place to hide it. Also, maybe we can do some little beauty correcting of the razor, which is like no super old, but fairly old one. So maybe we can do a little bit of a touch up and change some of the uglier parts, like this thing here, which I don't really understand. Just a tiny bit of beauty retouching. Let's move those kinks out. So we got some annoying, looks like movement blur. Or maybe just, well, I said before that my camera is really bad at focusing lately. But maybe it's, you can touch that up a little. It's basically a minor thing, to be honest. Sometimes I get a little bit obsessive with details. Let me know if I'm being too obsessive. Alright, nothing major, but there we go. So, I think we could put the logo somewhere on here. Let's see. Thinking maybe here. Or here, maybe. That's concave surface. Might be a bit of a hard one, but why are we here if not to make our life unnecessarily difficult? That's my motto. Maybe here? I mean, cool thing would be on the handle. We got a big fat finger that's right on top of it. So let's see. What's a good place to put down a signature? We got the high quality crispy version here. Sometimes I use this one directly, and sometimes I just draw it. Depends on where I'm going to put it. Like here, I use I like this one, the symbol. And some of them I didn't. I think in all of this I use the symbol. Yeah. But sometimes I do draw it on in a different way. It's always this symbol. It's a V and A and L, I guess. I make up Valdevia, however you want to say it. Okay, gotta decide where to put this. Where would it be on the normal razor? I think on this one it's like the handle here behind. Like on the back part of the handle. But we can't access that part, so... Okay, got another idea too. Let's see if that can make any sense. We can take this, sort of fill that little hole up. Like so. And well, I can smooth it out a little bit. So we can plug that little hole up and then just put it here on top, you know? Like that. That's a good place. How about that? Let's try it. Let's try to make it fit. Okay. So let's see if we can if we can put it on top here and have it make sense. The perspective is a bit difficult on this one. Bit more like this. Probably gonna need to warp it a little too. No, I think it needs to be more like that. So, okay. Before we put it on, just as reference, let's draw the middle line of this. So this over here to probably over here. Yeah. Yeah, so if we put that on, it should be like this, right? So I'm probably gonna need to warp it. To get closer. Sort of makes sense, but I'm not not entirely sure. That's what I'm trying to say. Just keep warping. Keep warping. I mean, in the end, it's not really gonna be readable, but it's gonna make sense to the people who know, who look for it. There's always people who look for it, because by now people are aware that I always hide this symbol, so hiding it better sometimes for those people might be good. Okay, so we got this. We can probably blur it a little bit. So let's do a Gaussian. Okay. And then I'm gonna just use it as a selection. And how are we gonna do this? Okay. So I'm gonna fill it up with, I think, with white and low opacity or overlay, like that. Bring it up a little and just using the inverse of that selection, I'm gonna draw some shadows and stuff on top. So gotta make sense of what lighting do we have and stuff. This is one of the hard parts sometimes, just making the logo. Can be pretty hard. It's always fun though. I can't complain. Okay, let's try to make it so it's a bit more elevated in a way. There we go. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Pretty bad at doing this, because it's basically a drawing. And as I've established, not good at drawing. I think this does the trick. Okay, needs a bit shadow here. Does the trick, kind of. Obviously, I'm gonna put it as strong as that, I think. I'm gonna put it on overlay. Maybe a bit of normal behind it. Okay, now we can take all of this, maybe play around a little bit more with it. How's that? It's supposed to be this. But obviously we have to hide it a little bit better. Okay, I'm also gonna play around with this. Let's add one more shadow layer, which is gonna be very soft. It's just gonna be the shadow that this thing produces. Like, a bit normal instead of overlay, or both. Oh. Hey! How are you doing, Pussyman? You have a test in Photoshop? What kind of test is it? Let me know if you need any help with it. Maybe I can... I don't know, maybe I know something. After all these years. You can justify it. Yeah, that's good. Usually I when I have an exam, I end up wasting my time watching streams and stuff. So in this case, you can count that as studying. Maybe ask your teacher, they might give you extra credits. Changing backgrounds, making the hair blend. Oh yeah, that's a hard one, making the hair blend. I wish you luck. There's many techniques though, so I don't know, as long as you find something that you're comfortable with and that you can reproduce fairly easily. And I guess fairly quickly too, because you need to do it in a certain amount of time, I imagine. As long as you can do that. Yeah, that's a good one. For me, the best one, I mean, it might be a lazy one, and maybe you can't do that on your exam. But it's just using a hairbrush, so you can download those off the internet. Just get one of these and paint with them on a small size, you know, and if you paint like this, you can end up creating a sort of hair. And you can fix the edges like that. Yeah. Are you using the last version? Oh, hang on, I gotta wake up my dog, I think. Yeah, I gotta wake him up. Hang on. Yeah, my dog was sleeping up here next to me. and he's going to his bed. Oh, is that? By the way, I think I forgot to turn on the chatbot, so that might not work right now. It's been a few weeks since I've streamed, so you got it on the buttons below, though. Because all right, yeah, that's gonna be messed up. Because I gotta redo them. That's why I didn't turn it on for the last few streams. Because my old commands have been erased for some reason, so I have to redo them at some point. I'll note it down to do it before next stream. Yeah, but all the relevant links are down below. Switch music. Somewhat Photoshop, but you should not be able to see it. Well, like mine. That's my goal too. My stuff is also kind of Photoshop, but you shouldn't be able to see it. Okay, I think we've done pretty much everything we had to do. I'm gonna make the signature here smaller. There we go. So, kind of messing me up with the perspective of it. It should be a bit more down there, you know? Okay, let's put some shadow on top of everything. Let's see if with that. Yeah. All right. So we can take all of this. Yeah, that's a signature. How can you not believe this? It's so realistic. Anyway, we got this. I think, like, effects wise, we don't have anything else to do. I think all we have left is maybe little touches. Norwegian Photoshop guy that changed the lamps in there. Oh, Erik Johansson. He's Swedish though. Yeah, I know him. I got his book right here, actually. I'm a big fan. Yeah, I love his work. I don't know if that specific one is in this book because it's a bit older. But yeah, I love him. I mean, that guy's a real pro. He's on another level, basically. Can't even compare it to my stuff. Yeah, he has a YouTube channel actually where he posts behind the scenes stuff. That's probably linked on that. Yeah, he puts more stuff in this on his YouTube channel. It's very good. Like, and it's a great way to see his whole process. It's more of a photographer than me. Like, most of what I do, most of the work I put in is in the editing, and most of the work he puts in is in planning and taking the pictures, getting models and stuff. Like, he definitely has way more resources, which really shows when you see the pictures. Like, if you see his last one, he built a whole prop to make it. Like, the last one is a girl that's sitting on a sort of glass house, and the glass house was actually made and to her like specification, like to the model size. Yeah, it's very good. You can see it. It's probably on his YouTube channel. Yeah, but he builds the whole prop. Like, that's a level of resources that and time, and he puts in a lot of time on this stuff. Okay, so I think I'm gonna already done all this. So I'm gonna put some top level editing. So I'm gonna flatten everything into a single layer, turn it into a smart object, and start messing with it. Maybe do a camera filter. Visuals, Julius. Yeah. Which one is that? I know him from Instagram. I'm sure, because I can tell the name. Do I get them for free? Yeah, I got a bunch of websites I usually look at when I'm looking for pictures. Let's see, visuals of Julius. Yeah, I follow him on there, on Instagram. Yeah, I know him. It's good too. It's very good. But yeah, I got a super long list of resources that I update sometimes on my Discord server. If you got a link below. Oh, shoot! Hey, how you doing? That's a big raid. That's probably the biggest raid I've gotten. Hey everyone. Well, thanks for the follow, Cook-Off. So we're doing my thing is that I do surreal photo manipulation. Hey Helldog. Thanks a lot, Chu. It's going well. It's been a while since I've last streamed, but yeah, it's been good to get back into it. So yeah, I do things like this. This is my whole deal. Well, the ones you're seeing now are the same, all in the same series. So they all have the same theme going around them. And this is just the last one on that. Thanks, man. But yeah, I do all sorts of surreal things. And yeah, I was talking about to Postman. If you want the resources and the websites I use, they're on my Discord, which you have a link down below. And I have a bunch of links to different websites with free stock pictures that are basically most of the ones I use. So yeah, I was about to do, like, I already did the main effect on this one, like putting on the razor, mixing all the shadows and stuff, getting the colors right on this whole strip here. So I was about to do some like top level editing, like just maybe adding some vignette or something. I don't know, I usually add a little bit of vignette, especially if the if the subject is in the center. You see that? Oh, that's the. That was a really fun series to do. That was one on old gods in the modern world. So I gave them each of them an occupation that's based on the powers and the things they used to represent. I did one for each culture. Well, not each culture, but a lot of cultures around the world. That was really fun. Hey, thanks, Burbs. So I'm also gonna add... Thanks for the follow, Scorpidillion. I hope I pronounced that right. Alright, too. Thank you again for the raid, and enjoy your meal. So yeah, the picture I took for the razor here, it's a bit grainy, just because how my camera is, and this one, for instance, is not as grainy. So I'm just gonna add a bit of grain to have everything more or less in the same levels of noise there. I don't know how much to add though. Not really seeing it there. There, I'm seeing it. It's fairly small, right? I really like, if you guys want to add grain to your pictures, and this is, I think that's that was on True Stream that I learned that if you do a camera raw filter, maybe it was True Stream. I don't know where I learned it, but it was definitely on a stream, on a Photoshop stream. Here in effects, you have a really nice grain filter, which you can change the size and roughness of, and looks much nicer than if you just do add noise and something like that. You can control it more. I kind of darkened it a bit too much though.